Hey ladies, those tight eyes. I'm telling y'all, we are having a lights out every other night. And I mean, it's hot in Africa. So the lights out is at night, it's like you're literally sleeping in a sauna. So you're sleeping in the sauna, so you can't really sleep well. So you're tossing, turning, and tossing and turning. And for me, one of my vows to myself, and I guess I'll start tonight, is to go to bed, at least get 8 hours. No, get 8 hours of sleep or more each night, no matter what. Just like I get up, let me just get the paper. Hey, baby. Just like I get up, sorry, y'all. Hey, good morning. Like I vow to get up every day or 5 days a week and do my exercise, which by the way, I'm on week 7, day 1, and today was, when I was doing it, the exercise, it was, almost felt like everything was easy, even though I upped the ante and added more sets and all of that. It was feeling like everything was easy, but when I finished, I realized I'm freaking exhausted. You know what I'm saying? Like I realized how tired I was. So I'm drinking a lot more water each day. You know, like I make vows to myself. My vow is that I get up every day for at least 5 days a week to do my workout. My new one is that I get every night, I get 8 hours or more sleep every day, every night. And the other one is thank you for the love, thank you for the love. And the other one is I drink plenty of water. At least I'm working on 4 bottles a day. Like that's minimum. 4 bottles a day minimum. I'm just trying to see what the size of this is. It's 750 milliliters, which I gotta put that in ounces, which I don't know what that is, but I know 4 would be very hydrated and good. So I have to do it. And it works. I mean, my skin loves it. My workout loves it. You know, sweating wants it. So it's a good thing, right? So I got a question today. Well, let's, hey, Renee, happy Monday. Happy Monday. You wouldn't get able to sleep. Oh my God, that is a, you know what? We're not going to do that. Okay, thank you. I saw that it was a compliment, but that was a little too far there. Anyway, Renee, are you? No, Renee, I cannot believe I did not uh, add you as a moderator. We're gonna add you as a moderator, okay? Thank you, Renee. Renee, you're a moderator. Do what you can. I know you might not be able to stay, but do what you can because, you know, yeah. hmm So, um, as I was saying, that I was thinking about something. I was thinking about the people that watch me, right? And I wanted to know more about you. And I wanted to know this question that I think is a legit question. How do you see your future? Like, what are your fears about the future? That was what the dialogue I wanted to have today. What are your fears about the future? I know that this is a high elevation channel, and I feel like sometimes we have to go to our lowest vibrations, if you will, if you want to even look at it that way, or this idea of fear to really understand. And maybe once we say it and discuss it, we could alleviate it. We could move it up to a higher vibratory frequency. And I think it'll be great. Because I was thinking about, like, I feel like I deal so much in the day to day that I don't actually think about fears for the future. I don't actually see my future in a fearful way. I don't know, and maybe I don't even sometimes look at, and this could be to my detriment, my future as in 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, even 20-year increments. I feel like I'm so, and I'm not like bigging myself up. I'm not sure if that's right or wrong, you know, but I feel like I'm so in what's happening now, and I can probably figure out tomorrow. Like I'll say something like, tomorrow I gotta go to the store. Tomorrow I gotta call or people. I gotta check my email. I don't look at life as this future, but sometimes I guess we do when we say, I want to buy land, or I want to build a house, or I want to. That's how I see the future. But the reason why I asked was because I realized that maybe I mean, everybody goes through something. And I'm not in the red, white, and blue anymore in the same way. So my something is a tad bit different than what I go through. I think when I was in the U.S., I did worry. It was the year. It was 2019. It was the few months before I actually went to Ghana. Before I actually visited Ghana, because I visited Ghana in March of 2020. And I remember I saw like some things like the writing on the wall. I saw that I was going to. I was kind of feeling like I don't think I can keep up this pace. And the pace was this rent that seemed like it was always going up. I had to pay water bill. I had to pay, electricity, like the car note. It just all seemed like I'm never gonna be able to rest. I'm never gonna be able to just be. And as I'm getting older, there was this fear that I didn't know what to do, but I knew that what I was doing would not end. If anything, it would be, when do I get a break? When do I stop? So all these things happening in myself, in my mind, my body, my spirit, that I wasn't even aware. I wasn't aware enough to say, wow, this is menopause too, or wow, this is the reality that there is a such thing as why people retire, and people retire from the busyness and retire more into a life of their own, a life on their own terms. And although I am and was and I have been for a long time an entrepreneur, or one who works for herself, or one who works somewhat out in the system, but not really. I mean, I got to pay taxes like everybody else. That was the deep part. I didn't realize that those people, me, the people that don't necessarily work a 9 to 5 or necessarily work outside of the home, unless they work for a company besides my own, will too face the reality of getting older and what that looks like. I didn't look at being older as a physical older where what if I'm incapacitated? Who's going to take care of me when I get older? Who's going to take care of me when I can't take care of myself? I still don't see that. I see myself being that old woman that will always be independent and always being healthy enough to take care of myself, no matter what. I don't ever see that, which is very interesting. But and because I'm in Ghana, I naturally feel like I'm doing those things that I know as I progress in age. I know there's certain things I don't really want to do anymore. And one of them I've mixed this right now is I don't want to grind. If up leveling means that I got to forget everything, or that I got to push, or I got to keep coming up with new things, I actually can't do it. I love that I get to be here and be myself. Like, I love that I get to share my frailties, my vulnerabilities, my worries, my doubts, my regrets, but also my joy, my happiness, my outlook on life. I feel like life really is meant to be simple. Yesterday, I did my master class, and it was called, and let me see, because I got so many titles, so many things, but it's called Finding Your Perfect Home, Physically, Mentally, and Spiritually, and money being no object, right? And it was this idea that your home, like this is your home, is your body, this is where we live, this is our home, and taking care of that is taking care of everything. So that's why I have these things in my mind now, like, okay, I know that I'm not going to think about where money's coming from in the future. I'm not going to think about if I can become incapacitated as I age. I'm not going to think about what if my health fails. What I'm going to focus on is keeping this physical entity that houses my spiritual being, if you will, in the tip-toppest shape that I could. But the funny part is that it's very basic in what we have to do to keep ourselves healthy. The reason why, y'all, I get up every day and I'm on my 7th week of being consistent with my 5 days a week, 5 days workout, 2 days rest, is because that's what I could do for the future. That's what I can do to ensure that the future is less of a, think about this, there's others that have come before us, And we're supposed to allow the others that come before us to teach us. Whether they've done the things that we will not do or we hope not to do, and that's the lesson that they taught us, or they showed us the way of what is that they did do that we love. And I was thinking about this idea, but I've never, again, thought about this stuff before because I always do yoga. I never thought I'd be one of those people that, like, we have to be more careful about our bones. But as Africans, in America, or Africans in general, or black folks, we tend to have that more calcium, I feel like, that we naturally have. Although we're depleting ourselves too of natural things because we're being depleted of natural resources, or we're not extending ourselves to the natural resources. It's interesting. No matter what I do, when I started menopause, when the period stopped at 50, I'm 56, going 57. Everything else, menopause was kicked in, and I know the estrogen is probably low. One day I'll get it tested, but I noticed that I don't know what I was gonna say, but that's the menopause too. You be forgetting stuff in the middle sentence, but I thought about to myself, I was like, wow, there are things that, my blood pressure went up. My blood pressure started. It's like, do you ever have high blood pressure? I was like, no, not me. My blood pressure is great. And then later on, I realized that this is a sign of menopause, or a symptom of menopause. And I regulate it. I keep it. I do it. I do it all naturally. But I think about it, when I think about if I feel like I have anxiety or my pressure might be going up for whatever reason, and if I go out in the sun, I mean it just either I can sit in the sun, I can walk in the sun, but as long as I get that sun at a certain amount of time on my skin, it goes right down. So I think about if I feel anxiety, anxiousness, I notice if I go outside, particularly when it's sunny, and of course being outside in nature where it's more grounded, I find that the anxiety and whatever that other feelings or symptoms of menopause goes away. So I wonder if some of our menopausal, thank for the love, our menopausal symptoms are something that is compounded or accumulated from the fact that for so long we've been doing so wrong. Thank for the love, like, is it that? Like, we were not taught that if we lived in harmony with nature or in nature, we would probably live a lot longer. And we would probably live a lot longer with a lot less ailments. It's like there's this thing, menopause, but there's also this thing called, being not in tune with nature, being separate from nature. And y'all, I think I saw the video, it's on this channel, when I was outside and I was sitting in my man's friend's land, which hopefully next to it will be our land. And I was like, I feel so much better. Just watching the animals, watching the goats, watching them relax and watching them sit, watching the fowls and sitting in the sun and feeling the breeze that literally flows in the trees. Like, I thought about the trees and its significance. I mean, I wish that we got that kind of training from our great-great-grandmothers and our great-grandfathers. I feel like that is what is detrimental, I think, to our people, is that we are not really passing on the vital information that can keep us healthy and whole. And I think that maybe our ancestors might not have really spoke about this idea of menopause. I mean, that's the word they probably didn't even know. But they knew that there are things that change in the body, and they took certain herbs so that they could combat those changes, or the herbs kept the estrogen in or kept whatever they needed in. But it was also not just an exchanging of, this is what you do so you won't get sick. Not just an exchanging of, this is what you do when you do get sick. It was the exchanging itself that was medicine. It was the grandmother passing down her wisdom that was medicine. So I feel like, we're out of touch with nature, but we're also out of touch with our natural selves, and the connection between human to human is something that's missing. We take in a lot of information, but unfortunately the information is can be, a lot of it is overwhelming, it's detrimental, it's an overload. But back in the day, we used to take in the information as we walked through nature. And as our grandmother pointed out those different herbs. And I feel like that is what we're going to return back to. The simplicity of life. We were talking about yesterday in the group how this idea of, I say, not only do I say be careful what you ask for, not my saying, a saying that we hold dear, especially in our communities, but be aware of what you're asking for, because it might not be what you need. And wisdom has taught me it can save you a lot of time. And we were talking about the idea of that it's like when we all have so-called desires, it's almost like somebody trained us to have these certain desires. And if we knew ourselves, we wouldn't even want some of these desires. So some of these desires is the one person that has the 6, 7, 8 bedroom house. And if you say something about it, they say, well, I can do what I want to do. That's fine, but I'm an older woman, so I'm giving you the wisdom. Can you live in all 7 rooms at the same time? Who's cleaning all of that? If you got a house cleaner, she's cleaning empty rooms that no one will probably be in. The house needs to even the doors need to be opened and closed, and so that it could actually stay alive. So all these things, and the other part is that where your happiness lies. My happiness, I figured out for myself, lies in nature and being as close to it as possible. So the actual structure of what I live in, first of all, is my body. This is the structure. This is the building. This is the building I work on. This is the building that I got to make sure the foundation don't have any cracks in it, make sure the roof don't have any leaks. This is your foundation. So, but what covers and houses that, the temple, is more important to me in this one aspect, is that it has to just be simple. I don't need 6 bedrooms. I don't need 3 bedrooms. I barely need 2, but I think in fairness, somebody might come visit and I should have 1. Because I'm into outdoor, indoor living. I'm into sitting out on the porch. I'm into sitting out under the mango tree. The shade that the mango tree provides. That's the part. We're doing all this fancy stuff when we could just sit out in the mango tree. It was even better to me sitting out there yesterday not having a dwelling, because I was more outside with, like I said, the fowls and the goats, and something over here is the sheep. And this is life. So I asked about our fears. I guess in my own way, I'm giving solutions. If you really think about, I feel like it's like almost the genie that comes and says, you have 3 wishes, but think carefully because you only have 3 wishes, right? I feel like every time we take our energy and we put it into a desire, and then we get it, but it feels anticlimactic by the time we get it. To me, it is almost like you used or wasted some amount of energy when that energy could have came into what was really important. I feel like we have to sit down and realize this desire that I'm saying that I want, where is it really coming from? When we were younger, the things we wanted, oh yeah, I want a big house. And so I'm just saying back in the day, I want a big house, I want to marry a great husband, I want 2 cars, I want a white picket fence. Everybody heard that. Do you know how many people really, when they got older, tried or attempted or even got that and realized, whose dream was that? I'll tell you something. When I grew up in Brooklyn, I thought, so how much you think that you are who you are, but you're not. Or maybe you were, but you're not anymore. You couldn't have told me I wasn't a Brooklyn girl, I wasn't a city girl, that I was going to be Brooklyn forever. Even though I couldn't stand the cold, I didn't like the snow, I didn't like the crime, I didn't like the dirty city, but I was brought up that Brooklyn all day, every day, Brooklyn for life. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was who gave me that, because that Brooklyn concrete girl that never was really out in nature, being from Brooklyn, as soon as I moved to California, it was just like as soon as I moved to Ghana, I knew that I was never going to return back to Brooklyn and the concrete jungle. I was a nature girl. How? I've never had that experience in this lifetime on that level. But it's because I bought into, I was born here, so therefore this is who I am. You are asking for things based on maybe societal pressures or an old dream or the dream that everyone has. Everybody has that dream. Everybody wants a big house. Everybody wants a car. Everybody wants a white picket fence. But it's not true. And then we actually know where a lot of it came from because they got a name for it. They call it the American dream. But I think it's a trick. I think it's to really keep you in the system, to keep you in the rat race, to keep you thinking that when you're born you have to stay. How about that? When you don't. You have to open yourself. That's what the master was about. Like, it's all an illusion anyway. I need this amount. Yeah, where you are, you're gonna need more because it's never gonna stop. It's not gonna get cheaper. It's gonna get more expensive. Instead of saying, I need birds, I need trees, I need the sun, we would have less ailments. We would live a lot longer. Our bones would be stronger because of the things that we have to do and the things, the experiences that we have. Thank you for listening. And I know Renee is helping a sister out. And I thank you so much, Renee. Thank you. Okay. Let's hold on. Let's see. Let me see if Renee is still here. Okay, thanks. Hey, what's up? It's really great. I bet that took ages. Not too long, Kim, but thank you. Let me see. Hey, Tina. Thank you, Renee. Oh, inspire you too much. Oh, Tina Legacy. Hey. Comment, like, and subscribe. Take care of your family. I got a new video. Cindy Goodson. How are you? How you doing, Queen? Sister Queen, thank you for the powerful words regarding taking care of the temple. No cracks in the foundation, no leaks in the roof. Yes, ma'am. And I feel like that nature does that already. That yes, y'all, it's a lot of like, okay, taking your herbs. Absolutely. But I think also there's this other thing. I don't know if it's the word is symbiotic, but it's the idea that if we sit in nature too, it's calming the nervous system. It's lowering the blood sugar levels. It's lowering the blood levels, the blood pressure. That's so deep. And I know that because I'm in more of a village setting. And I mean, only in the village have I ever seen people that clearly is over 100 years old. I mean, it's not so clearly because they're strong. And they're still they're still farming. And farming is not easy. And it's not for the weak. And they're eating their fufu, and they're eating their starches, and they're eating their sugars. But they're in nature all day long. They're moving. They have sunlight. And the fact that they are listening to the sounds, I know that if a singing bowl can heal you and level your vibration, if chanting can change the frequency of your vibration and your organs, then I know the sound of the birds or the sound of the sheep or the sound of the goats or the sound of the fowls is doing something too. It's doing something too. I looked at the goats. They meditate a lot. Thank you for the love. They graze for food, then they sit and chill. They make love or have sex, and they get pregnant, and they sit and chill. They know all the right foods that nobody has to tell them. There is no dietary, chart. There is no taking a class to know what they're supposed to eat. I was thinking about that too. I was like, dang, what happened to our natural instincts? I'm talking about all of us, that we have to have so many people that have to teach us how to eat. I don't think it's a little weird. I mean, even though we all are, we try to find information, but I think it's in us because the animals know. I see the goats. The goats know exactly what not to eat and what to eat. Dogs, when they're sick, most animals, they go into the forest and eat the greens that they know, or some type of herbs that they know is for them. How did we're supposed to be so intelligent, but how did we lose that? Do you not think we don't have those same instincts? But I think that they are buried under 24 hours of reels on Facebook and Instagram. 24 hours of information. I think life was better when the TV After a certain hour, my generation would actually go off. You hear the fuzz with shh. That's it. It's over. Go to sleep. Now you never have to go to sleep. But we say, oh, I need more sleep. Before you knew exactly what to eat. You ate what you grew. How about that? And what was available. You even ate what you raised. I mean, I know for some I'm vegan too, but I'm saying that there was this knowing that I feel like I want to gain that back. This just natural, like animals know, but they're supposed to be lesser than us. Well, how come they know how to eat when they're sick or when they eat not? They don't eat certain things. How do they know that? Because it's built in all of us. I think the belief that we are separate or more superior has messed us up. I just think like a week of observing nature, like that would be a dope retreat to me. We don't do really nothing. We just get up every day, we eat together, we grow our foods, we observe nature, we do our artistic stuff. I mean, no, I'm saying for individual, but a retreat would just be, for me, even once I get this land, this other land that's closer to here. I mean, my simple home will be beautiful and creative and colorful and all the things that I am. Because I feel like instead of when we think about our future as a fearful way, we have to think about our future as who we are now if we were able to be feeling more settled and serene and have a more simplistic life. What would come out of us as artists? I believe we're all artists. Every last person here, every last person watching, I truly believe that we're all artists. And our art would come out in so many ways because we would be inspired and influenced by nature. If the outside world could influence us that we only one person, but we got a 6-7 barrel house, and somehow that makes sense to us, or the outside world can convince us that we need 7 cars, even though we're one person. I know when people go broke, they also have to sell all the cars. I mean, of course you do. If we could be inspired that we're all supposed to have the white picket fence, then, and it's false and it's hurting us because it keeps us in a rat race. Can you imagine if we could be inspired by nature? What would that make us? I think it would be true. We would know what we want. We would feel, we wouldn't be confused about it. We would know how to get it. We really do have everything. When I exercise, what I've learned being on the 7th week of consistency, that's all about consistency, right? What I've learned is that everything is right here. That everything we need to be well, mentally, physically, and spiritually, thank you for that love, is right inside of us. That's what I know for sure. Thank you, sister, for getting them out. Hello, lovey, hello. TV was off at midnight. You remember that? Hey, beautiful. Hey, the Lawson family. Yes. Now, TV is the internet, child. 24. If there was more hours in a day, then that's how many hours is on. So it's like even taking a breath in between. But that's being out in nature. Like, y'all, I need ground. And I need green. And I need air. Like yesterday, I think what was deep was when I was outside sitting under the mango tree. This happened to me twice. I was on my land that's up in the village, which is about, it would be 15 minutes away, but sometimes the roads it makes about 30, but, and it's, now that's in the mountains. And I kept hearing the sound. I was like, what is that sound? Because I'm already out in the forest. You know, if you're out in the bush, you're out in the bush, you got sounds, right? I'm like, what is that sound? It's so unfamiliar. What is that sound? Honey, I'm leaning against the tree, which is a palm tree. I look up, it's one of the tall palm trees. So it's very much branch of bark or tree. And then up on the top is the palm, but it's not the palm that goes like this, it's this other palm. Honey, it was the wind blowing through the palm trees. I was so unfamiliar with that particular palm. I never heard that sound. I mean, think about this in life and in nature. There are sounds that you never heard. There are frequencies that you've not tapped into that you need to stay healthy and whole and complete. And also now, where was I? So then yesterday I was underneath the mango tree, which I didn't even know it was mango tree. I asked Manasi, he told me. And the way the breeze blew through those trees, I was like, oh, this is why the old people stay under the trees and sit under the trees, and they weave baskets, or they weave kente, or they and the young people weave the kente, or they weave other cloths. Look what we all could do. I don't know, y'all. I just feel like they got us fooled. We really out here grinding. We really out here just keep going when there's so much more. And I know it's to be true because I could see it in myself. I mean, not just can I feel it, but because we're visual creatures as human beings, I believe, I could see it. So in my everything I do, how I feel, the way I move, the way my skin is, and the whole. So I am guiding a group. It's a closed group, but I'm guiding a group through Queen of Food with Sacred Woman. And today we do 21 days, then we take the week off, or sometimes two if it's depending. And every first Monday of the month, we resume and we go into the different gateways, which is in the book Sacred Woman by Queen of Food. And we are entering the gateway of sacred beauty. And what a magnificent gateway it's going to be, because it's really telling you that beauty is from nature. It's like I was thinking about the idea of the mud clay or clay packs or clays. And you buy them in the store in the States, right? You buy them on Amazon but there's the soil here in Ghana is so rich that you can go to what they call a dam, and I was in the water. And the soil, of course, and the water, because it's like a little river, they become one. And clearly it's mud. It's mud clay. And you're getting it just by having your feet on or in the water on the dirt, which now is the mud. I remember being in Trinidad. It was actually Tobago, though. It was Tobago. And I think it was at Pigeon Point. I forget the name of the place. And it's of course, a big old ocean, but there's a part of it where it's no ocean, it's runs like a lake. And you can stand up in it, and it's all clear. And there was you could see the sand underneath. And the women taught me to take the sand and exfoliate your skin, even your face and everything. It was considered a fountain of youth as well. Our clays, our saunas. I mean, I laugh about the lights going out every night, practically every other night for hours and hours, sometimes the next morning. And the sweat to the point that the sheets are just sweat through. It is a natural sauna. We got a lot of good things going on, and we have to continue to give thanks, but to also put ourselves, and we got to start with our mental, and releasing, first of all, what we think it is, what we were taught that it is. And allow Spirit to take us to these places, because Spirit knows what's perfect for you. And it's trying to get you there. And I think I see a lot of people when they focus on Ghana, I just say Ghana, moving abroad, and I'm going to say Ghana because Ghana's, a little bit still kind of hot. The things that they focus on is actually small and petty of why you don't want to be here. I'm not promoting Ghana, I'm promoting wherever that place is for you, even if it's right where you are. And I feel like we're missing out on what I believe the calling is. When we are called to be in another place, it is for our good. And it's for our good on every single level. That's what I see. That's what I know. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to go now, but let me read. Welcome, Cindy Goodson, says Renee. That sounds phenomenal. Yes. Hey, how you doing, brother? I hope welcome cuts off the chain. Cindy Goodson says, thank you, Renee, knowing and living this knowing that, that's right, and loving. I think Sister for over a decade. Yeah, she helped me heal fibroids naturally with no surgery. Thank you. I love you, Cindy. Meant loving. I got it. It's 4:42 a.m. here in Michigan, and I rolled over in my sleep and grabbed my phone to play some meditation music to help me sleep. And here she is, Ashe, Ashe. Asheo. Hey, Anakata, Kaz. Good day, everyone. Good day to you. Beautiful. Uh, oh, Lordy have mercy. Okay, we're good. We're good. But, yeah, simplicity. I feel like we have to wake up to ourselves and our inner voice. I don't think it's our inner voice if it's too extravagant, it's too big. It's like we set ourselves up to make life harder for ourselves. Because I do believe that being in a dominantly Eurocentric communities or vibrational energy, I think it's a trick to keep us being too like it's gotta be more, it's gotta be hard, and then you come back and you come into a society where it's Afrocentric. And I mean that not from the Afrocentric perspective that we as diasporans or Black Americans have, meaning that it is Africa's in a sense, it's more indigenous. The idea of go, go, go is in a sense, yes, it's here because people have to eat and they got them thinking that they got them too now. You know, when I was first came to Accra, I was in Accra for, a year and a half, 2 years, maybe 2.5 years. It was wild. I was in Accra for a while, over 2 years. And I would see people, families, sometimes whole people sleeping on the streets or wherever they can. And when our center would close, they would sleep in the stalls. And you see everybody, because you get there early in the morning, you see everybody sleeping. I remember asking Kwame, I said, oh my God, are they homeless? Like, what's going on? I didn't think I would see so much homelessness in Ghana because of the whole, it takes a village to raise a child. And he said, no. He said, yes, they are sleeping in the streets. He says, but they all have homes. And I said, where? He said, in their villages. They have their house that they own. They have land. Most likely, I'm probably live in farming communities so they can grow their own foods. But they leave all of that to struggle and hustle in Accra. And they may sleep on the ground for 2 years, 3 years until they can get a place, which takes up all their money. And they barely can send anything back. And now they're stuck because now the family is used to the few little trinkets that they can send back in the village. So now the pressure is on. It's a rat race, and I watched it. You won't be hungry here. Not in the village. Not in the farming community. People give us food all the time because their harvest is big. Can't possibly eat it all. You can go into the forest, any one of them, the mangoes is dropping off the tree. And I'm not exaggerating. It's not that expensive. It's not expensive at all, to be honest, but it depends who you are. But yet, they're still struggling to get to Accra. Many of them go to Accra, they come right back because they realize, wow, wait a second, everything I make, it goes right back into Accra and maintaining. We've lost our minds to think, to create, and to create our own destinies, our self-determination, Kujichagulia. We've lost that because we've got so much information that tells us what it is and what it should be and how it should go. So we can't even think for ourselves anymore, but we're coming back. We're going to turn off the stuff that don't feed our souls anymore. And we're going to tune in, like I said, changing the channel. What is channeling from and through us. Yeah. All right, y'all. Okay, so I've been on long enough, and thank you. I love y'all, and I'll see you in the next one. Y'all, your girl is working out. It was hard, but I did it. So get up, move your body, and life is good. I'll see you in the next one. I love you all with all my heart, and I really appreciate, because I know it's early everywhere in the States, earlier than here. I'm 4 hours. I'm in Ghana, West Africa, for those who don't know. I'm a Black American living in Ghana, and I'm 4 hours ahead of the East Coast, and I'm 7 hours ahead of Pacific, which is the West Coast. So I know you're up early, and I appreciate you for allowing me to come into your meditation. And I say that because this is why I do my videos. I want you to feel better. And I want to feel better too. I'll see you on the next one. Thank you, Ronay. She said comment, like, subscribe. And thank you, Ronay, for holding it down for me. I'll see you on the next one. Peace and love.